beautiful souls, and welcome back to All Things Spiritual with me, Dr. Tamanna. This is your sacred space for inner discovery, soul wisdom, and conscious living. I'm so grateful to have you here today. If you've been feeling like your life is shifting in ways you can't explain, like everything is falling apart or falling into place, this episode is for you. Because today we are diving into one of the most profound, life altering, and misunderstood process on the spiritual path. I'm sure you've heard this term before, or maybe even said it that I think I'm going through spiritual awakening. But have you really understood what does it truly mean? What are the signs that your soul is waking up? What does the journey look like from darkness of confusion to the light of spiritual clarity? And have you ever wondered, how do you navigate all the emotional waves, ego breakdowns, and shadow triggers that come with it? In this episode, I'm going to take you through a journey from the dark night of the soul to the birth of your spiritual gifts. Being emotionally overwhelmed to finding the stillness. And trust me when I say this, spiritual awakening is not about becoming something new. It's about remembering who you truly are. So let's deep dive into what is spiritual awakening. A spiritual awakening is the moment or a series of moments when your soul begins to remember its true essence. It's when the veil between the material world and the spiritual dimensions start to thin and you realize that life is much more than what you see with your physical eyes. Awakening happens when you start questioning, why am I here? Who am I beyond the roles I play? What is my soul's purpose? Why do certain patterns keep repeating in my life? For some, awakening happens through a sudden life event, a breakup, a loss, a health crisis, or even a moment of stillness in nature. For others, it unfolds gradually, like a soft nudge from the universe that becomes louder and louder until it can no longer be ignored. You begin to feel more sensitive, more intuitive, more connected to something that is higher than you. And I've also spoken about this in my first episode, but also more disconnected from what felt normal. The people, the conversations, the environment you once tolerated now feels energetically draining. You start to see the illusion of the world, the societal expectations, the ego games, and the emotional conditioning. It's like your soul is whispering, wake up. There's more to this life, and you came here for something deeper. But here is the truth. Awakening isn't all bliss and butterflies. It can be truly chaotic, disorienting, and emotionally very intense. It shakes up everything you thought you knew so that you can rebuild your life from a place of truth. And that's why understanding the stages of awakening is so important. It helps you anchor yourself through the storm. There are 7 stages of spiritual awakening, which I'm going to be talking about. Let's walk through the 7 stages of awakening. And as you listen, feel into which stage you might be currently at. 1. The disruption or the wake-up call. This stage often comes uninvited. A sudden breakup, a loss, a betrayal. Something cracks open your heart and pierces through the illusion. This is when the soul starts whispering, there's more than just this. At first, you may feel disoriented, like your life doesn't make sense anymore. You might start questioning your job, your relationships, and even your identity. It's uncomfortable, but necessary, because the ego must be shaken in order for the soul to rise. Stage 2, the dark night of the soul. I'm sure you've heard this phrase before, and let me tell you, this is the hardest part. And yet, it's the most sacred. The dark night is when everything you once relied on falls away. You feel lost, isolated, like no one truly understands what you're going through. There may be anxiety or depression. You question your worth, You question your beliefs. It feels like walking through a spiritual fire. But this fire doesn't come to destroy you, it comes to purify you. In this stage, the soul is shedding all the false layers, old patterns, past trauma, egoic identities. You are not broken. You are breaking open. If you're in this stage, please remember you are not alone and you are not being punished. You are just being prepared for the next phase of your life. Then comes stage 3 of the spiritual awakening, the surrender. Eventually, something inside of you just surrenders. You stop trying to control everything. You stop resisting the pain. You start listening to your intuition. You begin letting go of the need to fix, and instead you just accept and you feel. This stage births humility and stillness and a deep soulful trust in something greater than yourself. It could be the divine, it could be the universe, or your own faith in your soul self. Then comes stage 4, the inner awakening, a sigh of relief. Now the light begins to return. You start to experience miracles from the universe or synchronicities. You see repeated numbers. You feel more connected to nature, to animals, to music, and even to silence. You may start meditating, journaling, or exploring healing modalities. Your spiritual gifts begin to awaken. It could be heightened intuition, energy sensitivity, dreams, or clairvoyance. There's a sense of coming home to yourself. You start choosing authenticity over approval. You may still have waves of grief or confusion, but now they don't shake you the same way they used to in the past. You've tasted truth, and there's no going back. And that's a choice that you make to embody that truth, to accept that truth rather than to resist. Then comes stage 5, the integration. And this is tough work. This is where inner work becomes outer transformation. You begin to embody your spiritual values in your everyday life. You set boundaries. You make aligned choices. You heal ancestral wounds. You learn to speak your truth even if your voice trembles. You realize awakening isn't about escaping reality. It's about living consciously within. Relationships may shift, career may evolve, but everything starts to align with your soul's vibration. And then comes stage 6, the purpose activation. Here, your gifts begin to serve others. You feel a call to share your voice, your healing, and your story. You may be guided to become a healer, a teacher, an artist, a blogger, or even a parent. Or you may simply show up as your authentic self every single day, wherever you go, and bring a shift in people's life. Purpose doesn't always mean career, it means impact. You've become a vessel for light. Your life becomes your message. And for those questioning their life purpose, it can just start from here. Stage 7 and the last stage, the expanded self. This is an ongoing, evolving stage. You realize that awakening is not a destination, it's a spiral, it's a dance, it's a remembering. You are constantly deepening, constantly shedding, constantly rising. And with each layer, you embody more love, more compassion, more humility, and more soul. Now, let's talk about something many don't speak enough about, shadow triggers. During awakening, your unconscious patterns rise to the surface, not to punish you, but to be healed. Here are the common emotional triggers that show up during the process. And it's important that you become aware to it rather than feel guilty for feeling it. Loneliness shows up. As you awaken, your circle often shrinks. You may no longer resonate with old friends, family dynamics, or societal norms. This can feel heartbreaking. But remember, you are clearing space for soul aligned connections. Then comes anger or resentment. Old wounds resurface. Childhood pain, betrayal, abandonment. You may feel angry at people who hurt you or angry at the universe itself. This is sacred fire. Let it move through you. It's a sign your heart is ready to release emotional baggage. Often, when we're going through this, we land up pushing all those emotions down, or we land up feeling guilty for being angry. But this is a way of your body to release pain and trauma. Then comes guilt and shame. You shift. You may judge your old self, the one who stayed in toxic situations or ignored the red flags. But guilt serves no one. Offer compassion to your past self. They were doing the best they could with what they had and they knew. Then comes fear of losing control. Awakening often pulls the rug from beneath you. You realize how little control you have, and that can be quite terrifying for the ego. You need to learn to breathe through this. This is the surrender. This is trust. And this is liberation. Then comes another phase. Am I going crazy? Let me tell you, you're not. You're just remembering what your soul has always known. You are experiencing multidimensional reality. You are shifting from logic to intuition. At this point, learn to anchor yourself, ground your energies, connect with others on a similar path. You are not crazy. You are just growing more and more into your own consciousness. Now, I'd like to take a moment to help you understand how to navigate the intensity with clarity. As I mentioned time and again, awakening is not easy, but you do not have to walk through this blindly. Sharing with you certain tools that will help you navigate with grace. My most favorite exercise: ground yourself daily. Spiritual awakening can make you feel ungrounded. So root yourself, walk barefoot on earth, sit with your breath, eat grounding food like sweet potatoes, lentils, root veggies. Practice body awareness. It can be very subtle, yet very powerful. You can also take to journaling without censoring. Your emotions are messages. Let them speak. Ask yourself, what am I feeling right now? Where is this coming from? What is this emotion trying to teach me? You can also work with creating a daily ritual. Even 5 minutes of conscious presence can shift your energy. You can light a candle, pull an oracle card, say an affirmation, sit in silence, or just listen to a mantra of your choice or whatever calls out to you. Ritual is remembrance. And the more rituals you do, the more you'll bring back that remembrance. And the most important part, be gentle with yourself. Spiritual awakening is not a race. There is no spiritual level to reach. There is only depth, presence, and trust. Allow your soul to unfold in its own divine timing. Now, as we come to the end of this episode, let's close this with a short guided breathwork and intention setting ritual. My most favorite part of every episode I do, the soul shift. If you're able to close your eyes, I invite you to close your eyes and place one hand on your heart and the other on your belly. Take a deep breath through the nose. Hold it for a moment. And exhale through the mouth. Let's do that 2 more times. Inhale. Hold. And exhale. And one last time. Inhale. Hold. And exhale. yourself to relax. Now whisper softly to yourself, I honor my journey. I release what no longer serves me. I trust where my soul is guiding me. I am awakening to my truth in love and not fear. Stay here for a few moments, breathing gently, feeling the space within you. And when you're ready, you can slowly open your eyes. Welcome back. You are doing sacred work. Awakening is not easy, but it is divine. And you need to trust your path. And you also need to trust you are not alone. Thank you for sharing this space with me today. If this episode resonated with you, share it with someone who may be walking their own awakening path. You can also subscribe to my YouTube channel, All Things Spiritual, or follow me on Instagram, tamannac.psychic. Until next time, stay soft, stay conscious, and remember, your soul already knows the way.